Greetings, everyone. Director Arketer here with chat manager Gray, and already in voice chat we have Miss Steam, which is a bit surreal. Which Steam are we dealing with again, just to clarify?
Steam.
Steam or Miss Steam?
Steam.
Steam, not Miss Steam, but Steam. Got you. Right, very good.
God damn it. Dictator Steam.
So, Miss Steam. Not Steam, but Miss Steam.
Yes.
Right, and of course, Gray managing the chat. Greetings thus far to Jordan of Shadow Lightning, Roger Wilco 98, Reach D, and Blinded Journeyman. Now that will make the journey quite hard. I feel for you. Because I'm like that. Meanwhile, starting off the show, good news, everyone! Sheriff Scott Israel dumped over the Parkland shootings failures, and all it took was about a year.
Oh, well, make good time, I guess.
If by chance you aren't familiar with the name Sheriff Scott Israel of Broward County, and the Parkland shooting, he's the one who bravely ensured the shooter had plenty of time to run out of targets and or bullets before he dared do anything as rash as endanger his police officers in stopping the shooter. And in typical psychopathic fashion, he wants everyone to know that this wasn't about Parkland. This was about politics. I think those of us who saw what happened in Parkland would surely agree, but not for the reasons Sheriff Scott Israel has. Great news, though, in any case, because he's gone, and quite frankly, there's no one they could put in his office that would be much worse. And the one they have replaced him with, well, pointedly states that he's not a politician, he's a police officer, which I'm of the opinion is a very important feature for a police officer, to be a police officer and not a politician. Scott Israel was without a doubt a politician. We know because we've got plenty of pictures of him glad-handing with some certain big names. But we can read a bit of the article to, clear things up. Greetings, Ezub and Angry Frumman.
You seem very cheery today.
I'm not, really. For the time being, I'm alright. I'm a bit odd, have a few blank spots in memory, but it's accounted for indirectly, so I'm not too concerned. Apparently it was my idea.
So you took Bad Six's advice then?
What?
Nothing.
I talked to Bad Six recently?
Not that you remember, apparently.
Oh. How did it go?
You were devastated, and then Bad Six helped you out.
I'm pressing X to doubt. But, that's getting distracted from the show. We'll move on. Governor Ron DeSantis removed Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel from office Friday, replacing him after 10 months of turmoil spawned by the slaughter of 17 staff and students in Parkland. The new governor replaced Israel with former Coral Springs Police Sergeant Gregory Toney. Interesting. 40, who has a background in active shooter training and becomes the first black sheriff in Broward County's history. Great, although I would say this is the least important feature. Still, history. DeSantis announced the suspension at the Broward County Sheriff's Office headquarters while the displaced former sheriff prepared his response from a church in northwest Fort Lauderdale. I have no interest in dancing on Scott Israel's political grave. That's fine, I'm willing to. DeSantis said, the Democratic former sheriff. He shouldn't have a political grave to dance on in the first place. Again, more important to, in a law enforcement position, be more policeman than politician. But anyhow, but suffice to say, the massacre might never have happened had Broward had better leadership in the sheriff's department. Yes, quite frankly, if Broward County had paid attention to any of the warnings of the impending shooting along with the FBI, then that shooting wouldn't have happened. It's almost as if, well, can't speculate, but...
Roger Wilco said my volume is low.
when it says your volume is low, it means you Steam? His Steam's volume is low.
Yeah, Steam's volume is low.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I can fix this. I thought this might be the case. It's always something, isn't it? Well, people are used to my technical difficulties now, so it shouldn't be a major problem. Except the fact that your volume is already maxed, as is Gray's, which means the solution must lie with the mixer.
I do like mixers. Mixers making cake.
Ooh, cake.
Talk about the right mixer, right? I don't agree with you, Roger Wilco.
Same voice chat seems low altogether, apparently.
Okay, how about now?
Hello.
Whoop. Whoop, whoop. Join Ohio Foundation. Dictator.
What is love?
Baby,
Doctor
don't
is
hurt
gay.
me. Don't hurt me no more.
Copyright.
Actually, that's a pretty serious risk now. They'll flag absolutely damn near anything. Let's see. Man, you seem pretty loud to me. Hopefully this sorts it out. DeSantis announced the suspension. Oh, right. In his executive order, the governor cited Israel for incompetence and neglect of duty. No joke. DeSantis said Israel egregiously failed in his duties by not properly training deputies and not maintaining a culture of vigilance and thoroughness, among other weaknesses, like, say, holding his officers back from actually going in when the shooting occurred. Jackass. The suspension caps a nearly year-long series of revelations that exposed the failure of Broward County Sheriff's deputies to run in to save children at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School as a former student marched through the halls with an assault rifle. Some deputies said they couldn't remember when they last been trained to handle an active shooter, even though the agency had a confused, chaotic response to a mass shooting at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in 2017. Much of the criticism has focused on Israel's leadership, though he enjoyed strong popularity in Broward before the shooting, because no one was paying attention. Israel's star fell in the aftermath, particularly after a disastrous appearance on CNN in which he praised his own leadership and glossed over his agency's mistakes.
Wait, so he fucked up massively and decided to suck his own dick anyway?
Yes. Well, look, these people are not too keen on interacting with reality so much as reality as they wish it to be.
Reality can be whatever I want.
Hey, if post-objectivist, that's basically how it's supposed to work. It's whatever you insist it is.
I insist I did a great job and none of those people died. Ah!
Yes, and I continue, of course, to insist that I am in fact a billionaire, but reality is yet to bend to cater to my every whim. Anyhow.
No, you're definitely not a billionaire, I know.
No, definitely I am not a billionaire. This is absolutely 100% true, and it's terribly, terribly ist. And problematic. You can identify as it. Someone should fix this for me. After his move on Friday, Israel, backed by religious leaders and supporters, accused the governor of carrying out a political mission because the sheriff had spoken out against gun violence.
Oh my.
Donning a blue pinstripe suit and red tie instead of usual green sheriff's office uniform, Israel said he would seek every avenue to contest the suspension, including making his case in a hearing before the Florida Senate. This was about politics, not Parkland, Israel said, and again, I agree. Parkland was about politics. Israel's attorney, Stuart Kaplan, said that while mistakes occurred,
Oh, mistakes occurred, alright.
accidents were made. Whoopsie doodles. Got a bunch of students killed because we waited outside for the shooter to run out of bullets or targets. It could have happened to anyone. Dang it.
So we didn't want anybody else to die, so why not wait for him to kill everybody? So he comes outside and then we can shoot.
Oh no, but the thing is like they don't. They didn't. He didn't kill anybody. The people fell on his bullets.
they
You know,
were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He just fell on his bullets. You know how it is. You trip over and suddenly, oh shit, bullet on chest. I shouldn't tripped over. You know.
why do they bother arresting
What
the
the
kid? Really?
clumsy people at that school.
Extraordinary. It's all a horrible misunderstanding. While mistakes occurred, the shooter is only responsible for the lives. The only one responsible for the lives lost at Marjoriestown and Douglas High School. Yes, that's right, folks. Remember, you should give up all your guns and rely upon the people who do still have the guns to save you. But if they don't, it's only the fault of the person who's shooting you.
For fuck's sake.
So Arketer, if I ever shoot you, it's not my fault. You fell on my bullets.
Fund me first, and I'm not going to make that easy for anyone. Let's see. Look, we can just dwell on this. Most family members and victims, people in Parkland, blame Israel for agencies handling the teenage killer during interactions before the shooting, and for the way it handled the unfolding tragedy. Coral Springs officers showed valor running into the school. They reported being routinely trained to run toward gunfire. Many of the sheriff's deputies, meanwhile, crouched behind trees or cars and didn't try to enter the school.
You know, the students inside get the bodies of their fellow students hide behind, and the cops outside get treated.
Well, Israel had changed the agency's policy from deputies shall go in after an active shooter to they may go in. Or not.
You know, whatever.
It's not, look, it's not like it's that important, is it?
It's just a bunch of people, you know.
Just a bunch of high schoolers getting shot by a random active shooter. I mean, what's the rush? Again, he'll have to run out of bullets or people to shoot sometime, and then we'll have him!
I mean, it's good population control.
The voice of the parents. On February 14th, my daughter died on the third floor of MSD running down the hallway from an active shooter. One of the grieving parents, Fred Gutenberg, said Friday at the announcement. 1 more second, and she makes it into the stairwell. She needed 1 more second. If anybody wants to know what failure means and lack of response, my daughter would have lived if somebody could have just given her 1 more second. Andrew Pollock, whose daughter Meadow was killed, emceed the parents' portion of the event, where other family members of victims spoke. Pollock said his next target is Broward School's Superintendent Robert Runcie, though DeSantis isn't sure if he has authority to suspend an appointed superintendent. Pollock said he'd see to himself that Runcie loses his job. I get things done, Pollock said, and there's nothing on this planet that I can't get done, especially since my daughter was murdered. And I have the heart of a lion, okay? I'm not going anywhere. He's focused. Pollock connected the new Sheriff Tony with DeSantis. We all went to the same gym together, and that's where we all met, Pollock said after the announcement Friday. I think he's going to do a wonderful job, and the community is going to get behind him, and the kids are going to be safer, and the community as a whole will be safer. Yes, almost certainly. Tony, a resident of Boca Raton, worked for 12 years as an officer and then sergeant in Coral Springs. His former boss, Coral Springs Chief Clyde Perry, said Tony has a bright future, and he was sorry to see him leave the agency in 2016. Oh, and greetings, Victorian Greyjoy. Victorian? Victorian? That's a mouthful. So it's Victor for short. Well, nice in any case. Very stylish. Sympathies if it's your actual name.
I think
Moving
the
on.
live chat for me has stopped working. Hang on.
The Florida Constitution gives the governor power to suspend officers for malfeasance, misfeasance, neglect of duty. Broward Commissioner Nan Rich says she doesn't think the county commission will attempt to challenge Israel's suspension, even though she doesn't agree with it. I'm personally just very concerned about our democracy and all these suggestions or recommendations about moving people that have been elected and have not been indicted of any crime, Rich said. We live in a democracy, not an autocracy, and I just like to maintain it. Oh, great. Then they can elect a new sheriff next time around.
I mean, do you know what goes well with a democracy? a meritocracy. Something that's based on certain person's merits. So if they fuck up, it might be good to get.
You know what's better than a democracy? Because no one's done it before.
I'm still pro-democracy. Mind you, I've rather been sold on the concept that democracy can't be pure. It can be too easy to dupe all the people for a short period of time.
That's why capitalist dictatorship works.
No.
Works every time.
No,
one's tried it.
Look, there's some people who think that we need to go back to kings, and I just note that during the period of time in which there was nothing but kings, we have a term for that time period. What was it called? Dark Ages?
No idea.
Look, I think democracy is a really good idea. It seems to have been a bit of a boon for humanity as a whole. But
It ain't the best.
this isn't democracy being chafed away. This is something that should have happened much sooner than now. Competent little weasel. Hey, look, let's move on to a happier topic. Feminist cafe that charged 18% man tax goes out of business. Handsome Her is a cafe and meeting place where women reign supreme! Because, of course, that's equality. Rule 1!
What's that old saying? It's like, get woke, go broke. And that might be it.
They started out that way. It's kind of amazing they lasted this long. But we'll find out what their full run was here shortly. Rule 1. Women have priority seating. Rule 2. Men are charged a 21% premium to reflect the gender pay gap, which is donated to a woman's charity. 1,100 raised so far. But apparently they marked it down from 21% because the two articles I found on this, because I want to make sure it was a real one. Can't imagine why anyone would doubt this being real in the modern age, but what can I say? I'm a flawed human being.
I'm confused. Like, supposed to be like a feminist cafe, but they got a picture of a man.
It reminds me of the cafe that only ran on communism, and basically the thing was like, oh, you pay the servers, but you pay them whatever little money you have, whatever you think is right, and they pretty much went bankrupt and had to close down within like a couple months because no one paid.
I believe that, but that in some ways, no, that one was just straight up more beneficial. This one is just pure deranged bile. But look on. The man tax blew up the internet. An idea that we didn't think was all too radical, yet the way the world responded showed us how fragile masculinity is.
Got all that old argument, like, we're not the snowflakes, you're the snowflake.
That's right. A feminist-owned and operated cafe that made headlines around the world after introducing an 8% man tax on male customers will be closing its doors at the end of the month. Handsome Her, a vegan establishment. This should probably be some sort of bingo. Is anyone keeping track? Does anyone have their bingo cards? A vegan establishment located in Melbourne, Australia. Actually, we don't have Dorky with us for this one. Will be going out of business on April 28th, according to an announcement on its website. Ooh, it's not done yet, but 3 days? Close enough. In a lengthy Facebook post, the cafe delivered its heartfelt message to its patrons. When we opened up Handsome Her in 2017, we expected that perhaps we might make a stir through our brazen public discussions of structural inequality and oppression and desire to create our own. The statement reads, "The man tax blew up the internet, an idea that we didn't think was all too radical, yet the way the world responded showed us how fragile masculinity is, and solidified the necessity for us to confront and dismantle the patriarchy."
Oh, look at that, third paragraph in. Bingo.
Handsome Her took aim at the backlash of his decision to institute an 18% tax on male patrons, after apparently having 21% that we saw in that picture, sarcastically calling themselves the, quote, The evil, discriminating, man-hating dykes who charge men more when... Didn't you know the wage gap doesn't even exist? But for real, it doesn't.
I don't think they really understand how economics work. It's not the fact that people didn't go there because of, like, oh, patriarchy. They didn't go there because you were charging them more than the coffee shop across the street.
Nope. No, I don't think very many men were going to this one cafe place so they could pay an extra 18 and 21% to show how woke they are.
Yeah, like, oh,
Don't
you're charging 20% extra. Fuck it, I'll just go to Costa or like fucking Starbucks.
Don't they know that you don't discriminate against sex? You discriminate based on which region the buyers will come from.
If you're going that route, you should probably discriminate against everyone who is not in your market district. Like
most places.
an anti-Minnesotan cafe in the Bronx.
Oh no. Won't outright just say no, you can't buy our stuff. Just
Actually, this is a novel business idea. I could open up a restaurant. Eskimos suck. In Texas, of course. Just
True.
little factoids on the walls. Do you know that Eskimos kill X amount of seals every year? Screw Eskimos! These views are not sincere at all. It's a bit of a reflex. I have nothing but respect for the native populations of Eskimos, and especially those of Seward Peninsula. Moving on. The company touted its ethical and ecologically conscious practices, such as abandoning takeaway cups, single-use straws and napkins, and by shopping locally and supporting women-owned businesses. In its struggle against patriarchy, Handsome Her was surprised to learn that it wasn't only men's rights activists targeting business, but also those within its own community. Handsome Her was taken back to find that many people in the LGBTQA+ community...
The LGBTQ koi, yeah.
LGBTQ+ community have as much aversion.
As soon as the LGBT ABC 123 comes up, that's just my cue to fucking just nod off. Really, like as soon as that pops up, my mind immediately just goes.
They've already put a plus in there. Plus what? The plus never stops. That's just where they said, okay, look, we can't go through it all. Just fuck it, put a plus there, we'll roll.
Hey, killing jokes here.
Wouldn't it make more sense to put an infinity sign?
The Mobius Strip Alliance. Oh, and greetings, Killing Joke. This is an open mic article, radio. Welcome to pop in. No obligation, of course, but feel free.
Goes for everybody on the, if you got access to the Discord channel.
Have as much aversion to us using the word lesbian as the men's rights activists. They weren't allowed to use the word lesbian, apparently. The activist cafe sparked controversy in 2017 after instituting an anti-patriarchal house rules designed to hit back at sexism by being sexist.
Wait, if you're not allowed to say lesbian, then what are you allowed to say?
To fight forest fires, I'm going to torch my lawn.
Munches?
I'm sorry, what?
Like,
Rug munches?
like you said,
I mean, that's another word for lesbian.
They're not allowed to use the word lesbian. So, like, what are you supposed to use in, like...
Rug munchers. I mean, that's another word for lesbian. Right?
Well, look, no real surprise they were as targeted by their peers as everyone else because no one's allowed to succeed, and certainly they were no exception to the rule. We've been over the house rules, and that's about it for the article.
Oh, it's just basic economics. They charge more, people went to somewhere that's cheaper. That's why they failed.
Commenters were split by initiative. Some were supportive, while others were more skeptical. I love it, especially if it creates an environment where women feel safe, tweeted Australian writer Erin Riley.
How much did they pay her to say that?
How is it supposed to make women feel safe? Oh,
I mean,
wait.
women feel safer if there was a man there that, that most often are physically stronger, so if there is a problem, there is a man there that can help deal with the issue.
The
I'm not
only
being sexist, I'm just pointing out the biological difference between men and women. That,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but every time I see a security guard in the shops, like I feel a lot more secure than if a woman's there, and because, well, sorry, it's kind of just how my brain works, and you might go, "Oh, that's sexist," but women are fragile.
Exactly, we're not disparaging women. It's just the basic biology of it. Men develop muscle and such much more efficiently, much better. It's just how it is.
To which I'm going to retort, you're both in the UK somewhere. So, as an American... Oh, actually that hurt. That was way too close to identity politics. Look, the fact that America doesn't really matter on this point, but suffice to say, I have a... Look, it's good when security forces are armed, because then they can be female, frail, strong. If they can hold a gun and aim it, then they are as deadly as absolutely anyone else who can do the same.
Oh, yeah, we're more thinking on the English side where...
Yeah, that is a good point. We are...
Yes. Well, look, I've been saying this for a long time now. If you're really concerned with equality of the genders, you need to be very pro-gun. It's done more to equalize the sexes than just about anything else, really.
And if you need a gun, please go to the Hara Foundation.
Strangely enough, the women seem to be mostly wrapped up, from what I've seen, a certain weight has been leaning on the anti-gun side of things because they don't want this device that immediately makes them the physical equal to all of those horrible, no good, very bad men.
Guns are cool, okay? Guns... I want a cane gun. Cane guns are fucking awesome. Like, I want one of those.
I'm a big fan of non-lethal measures. I like tasers.
Mace spray.
Well, there are actually cane tasers too, which are kind of cool, but cane gun is just so much cooler.
I'm a fan of mace. More
the
than taser.
Weirdest chill when I said that. I'm actually looking forward to guns that don't shoot bullets, but more interesting things. Hopefully that's around the corner, but we're not there yet.
Like confetti.
I'm not sure about the stopping power of confetti, but if it works, it works.
It will fucking surprise them. You'll be able to run.
Oh, so like the squid approach, you know, so someone gets threatening, just beep and flee.
But I don't know. I can't really use a taser because it's a certain kink of mine.
You can have your taser. I'll have my confetti gun.
Weird. Just another one of those chills.
Like you said, it's like a squid. You just go to bang. Pop it up.
Someone dumped like a cup of ice water.
By the time they've realised what happened, you're off.
Down the back of my neck. Just. Yes, it's one idea. Although I think actually a gun that shoots ink might be more effective. I think you've got the maces and so on. Plenty of options, increasingly so. Handsome Her's brand of aggressive feminism reflects a broader cultural sea change in which women are exhorted to cast off the shackles of the patriarchal past, forcefully if the need arises, but not with guns. Critics of this more radical iteration of feminism argue that such tactics are counterproductive and self-defeating. I get the idea behind it, but I cannot but feel that it creates a bigger divide, one Twitter user remarked when Handsome Her made international news in 2017. What a bigot. Now, I pulled up...
Yes, Twitter, the centre for all civilized discourse.
Well, we know that this person was being quite rational, so clearly he must be a horrible he-man-woman hater. And greetings, Jinx C. Your GIF is in here somewhere. I'm going to spread that much suffering. The article from the Evening Standard.co.uk covered the same article. What I found interesting is that the article more or less covers the same tactics overall, but it has a certain difference in that it pointedly ends on supportive twits. And I gotta say, I'm getting really annoyed with any articles citing twits.
Yeah, I know, right? And now look at all of these reasonable, sources, like these trustworthy sources that are, they're totally objective.
Yes,
We got them on Twitter. You can.
One random person using Twitter who you don't know about said this. Okay. Why should any of us care?
Yes. Twitter. Oh, so some random asshole on the internet. Great.
What are the odds said random Twitter even knows where the shop was? Or anything else about it?
As well, that somebody has joined the chat and his name is, or her name is Crazy Coffee.
His or her name is Crazy Coffee. Yes, welcome Crazy Coffee. We were just discussing a Crazy Coffee House, which is due to shut down in 3 days because apparently a marketing strategy of, well, just telling half of the human population to go fuck itself has not really proven as economically successful as they planned. Others express to the cafe's alleged failure. Get woke, go broke. Duh. What has your cafe going breakup taught us? 1. Sexism in business is a bad idea. Yes. By the way, at one point earlier in this article, they called it reverse sexism. Like reverse racism, this is a thing that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as reverse sexism or reverse racism. It was, and always will be just sexism, just racism.
What the hell is reverse racism and reverse sexism?
It's just racism and sexism, but they say it's reverse because people are dumb.
It's non-white people being racist against white people, and that, of course, can't happen due to my poorly understood grasp of a sociological term that I'm going to apply to everything. Or alternatively, how possibly could one discriminate against men? They have all the power. Like white people do, when we invented time and science.
It's just incredible they need their own little tag for it. Like their own, like, oh, that's not racism. That's reverse racism. It's like the lesser racism. Like
Well, the very term invention, I suspect, was meant just to confuse people and furthermore present something that could not exist, delegitimize it. And they got a bunch of idiots to agree that, oh, reverse racism is totally real. No, it isn't. Reverse racism is egalitarianism. It's refusing to discriminate on the basis of skin color, which is increasingly woke these days.
See, that's the thing. I'm not racist. I have white slaves and Asian slaves and black slaves. I don't discriminate.
Well, there's also that point where we've somehow inadvertently become like the least racist point of like history because everybody's being discriminated. Like everybody.
Apparently so. Apparently some people are also displeased with this and really want to try to push it as far as they can in the other direction for justice.
Blinded Journeyman chat says, I never did get my white male privilege cards from the mail. I know, right? Where's mine?
I never got one.
Apparently white people get like white privilege. We're wizards as well from last week.
Look, according to Black Islam, all the white race was created by an evil ancient African scientist named Yakub, who created the white people as a race of warrior slaves, which seemed like a pretty bad idea to start out with. I mean, you have slaves, you have warriors, make them both. You would think something going wrong here.
Racist to begin with.
Yes, strictly speaking, if Black Islam was correct, then the white race is a heartwarming story of an underdog throwing off its shackles to ascend to full independence and overcome all manner of really horrible biological engineering, racism, slavery, blah blah blah, all the worst stuff. It makes a white race pretty heroic overall. Sorry, Steve.
So many jokes I'm not allowed to make.
I have to point out something. You're saying that you guys didn't get your white cis male
Privilege card? No, I don't think any of us got that, sorry.
Did I get one then?
Oh, are you sure it was the white cis male privilege card? It could have been the white female privilege card. Small difference.
Yeah.
No,
You get a couple more like oppression points.
Hey, and it'd probably get you a free coffee from here, but you better hurry, they're closing soon.
Oh no, it says male.
Bureaucratic error in your favor, supposedly that makes you even more powerful. Why, possibly even in triplicate because you're also trans.
Oh, and Jordan of Shadow Lightning says, all Twitter is good for is porn these days. Good point, because I sure as fuck don't get there for politics.
I wouldn't go there for enlightened viewpoints, occasional discussions, novel. Moving on. Godspeed to the proprietors of Handsome Her Nonsensical Cafe. A fat sex therapist was not surprised Inzi Shooter was into fitness because working out is for Nazis.
I accidentally
Wait, what?
Another article from Pluralist here. Fat sex therapist not surprised Inzi Shooter was into fitness because working out is for Nazis.
For such a fat woman, she's pretty good at mental gymnastics. I'll give her that.
Well, you know, it's the only place she can do gymnastics.
I accidentally exited out of Discord.
Always happens.
That's alright. Everyone else is hearing you, and that's the important thing, I suppose.
Do you know Nazis like water? So maybe she should stop drinking water.
It's true. Nazis were big on... Hitler himself drank water. And they never discuss how problematic water is. You know, he read too. Where's the anti-literacy campaign? And you think about it, literacy in itself is just so terribly ist. The very concept of writing black letters on white parchment, showing that, you know, the black letter's only there to convey meaning, to do intellectual labor for the reader on a white background. Very oppressive. All the black letters have to stay on the white parchment background. I'm still waiting for someone to actually present that seriously. And they've already accused skiing.
Someone probably has. There's going to be some college student somewhere doing their gender or racial studies that have brought that up.
It seems only a matter of time. I'm just amazed it hasn't happened already. But just look at this ist text here. All those black letters laboring away on the white man's white page. That thinness is a white supremacist beauty ideal. An award-winning social worker known on Instagram as the Fat Sex Therapist, some idiot on the internet, said Thursday during a lecture at St. Olaf College she was not surprised that the man who shot up Christchurch, New Zealand was also a fitness instructor, which was a sentiment informed by her belief that Nazis really love this idea of an idealized body.
Yeah, there's a thing called being naturally skinny and having such a high metabolism.
Bigots, Nazis.
It doesn't.
It's only a matter of time before they declare war.
Yeah. Like there's some people
on
that
the
have such a high...
Look, it's a well-established fact that the tremendously overweight people are also the most peaceful and peace-loving people, because some of them can't even get out of bed to attack anyone.
They just have to roll over.
That turns into Indiana Jones.
If fat idealization and fat acceptance hits record levels, why, we'll have world peace, because no one will really get out to do anything. The medical costs will just shoot through the goddamn roof, but it'll be so peaceful.
Big Pharma and everything like that is probably praying for fat acceptance to go up.
See, I don't think
all of the money we'll make on diabetes medication.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I don't think these fat acceptance people understand that there are people who have such high metabolism that they actually can't put on weight because they just burn off so fucking quickly, and it's actually very worrying for their health.
A mate of mine
Sort
that's
of thing.
in the army, his metabolism is so high he was actually underweight. So before he went in for testing, he drank like gallons and gallons of water. He was just over the limit because his metabolism's so high. Cheeky bastard.
I think that that would be very problematic for these individuals, and they would probably want to find some sort of solution to deal with these people. Possibly a final one.
Thin genocide!
So I'm a nut. Because I don't have 4 boobs.
Well, look, apparently anyone who likes to not be horribly out of shape is a Nazi. After all, it makes a lot of sense to me that a fitness instructor who might also think that an idealized body is his thin, white supremacist way might also think about an idealized body in this thin, white supremacist way. The sometimes adjunct lecturer averred. Russia Worth comments came after part of a 2-hour-long speech on the subject of radical fat liberation.
What are we fucking liberating them from? Their fucking chairs.
I mean, I'm chubby, so that's that.
Hey, some of them are technically imprisoned. They can't leave their rooms, the couches, beds. I don't think that's what they mean here, though. The former adjunct faculty member at Widener University urged our audience to politicize the definition of body image, claiming that oftentimes we actually get stuck thinking of it from a white supremacist lens.
I mean, I'm chubby, so that's that. Does that help their cause?
Look, I've been telling everyone in part 2, part 3 of How to Destroy Enemies and Applause that, quite frankly, if you get some idiot to identify by their worst vice, they'll kill themselves with it. And if they get enough of a following, they'll kill other people for it. But in this case, we probably don't have to worry about that. I don't think massive fat rage is going to sweep the nation, much less the world. And if it does, well, it won't last very long before they get replaced by countries that can still walk.
What the hell are you talking about? They can't even sweep the street, let alone nation.
They can't even sweep their own fucking house.
Or if this does catch on, then I guess this is how we get to the Wall-E future. If total automation comes first.
I just keep thinking, like, what? If fat people kind of rose up, and started fighting, it'd be the easiest war. They'd be so slowed. They'd be telegraphing everything they do so easily. It's like, oh yeah, we can get an ambush ready. They'll be here in about 5 hours on foot.
So, radical fat liberation indeed. Oh look, fat ASMR, because it sounds so much different when a fat person loudly chews something as opposed to someone else.
Why is she... Is that
Yeah, that would be
That's a carrot.
interesting.
What? Something doesn't add up here.
Yeah, actually a very interesting war. It's like they're running down the hill. Oh, no, wait, they all fell over.
Avalanche! Russian war.
People in chat just saying it would be a slow war unless going downhill.
Again, once they trip and start rolling, that gravities could make them quite deadly.
They turn themselves into siege weapons. God, not even a challenger could stand up to such a strike.
Well, it'll only really be bad if they come to a stop on top of you. Otherwise, so soft that you'll probably just leave an indention. Unless you stick.
It's a horrible thought. It's just unrelenting. They're all rolling downhill. No weapon can stop. Russia
war rejected the use of science and the production of knowledge to continue promoting this idea that certain bodies are fit, able, and desirable, suggesting that it wasn't necessarily her fatness that was responsible for her high blood pressure, but rather her experience of weight stigma.
Stigma, there's got to be a joke there.
No! I checked, this isn't parody.
I mean, maybe their uprising could work if you have a stick and.
No,
like,
I think what the problem is, there could never be an uprising because they can't rise upright.
If they catch
They're just-
on, they'll rapidly lose the
they-
ability,
hang on,
which,
hang on.
which, by the way, should rather conflict with the idea that if they just stop using science to judge things and declare themselves fit, able, and desirable, then totally they will suddenly become fit, able, and desirable and rise from their couches and beds and bathtubs.
Now that just reminds me of the slam from Warhammer. For anybody who gets that, they know exactly what.
I think I know how the uprising. I think I know how they can do an uprising. Easy. Get an ice cream van. Stick. And just.
That will be their battle cry. Their war horn will be the ring from an ice cream truck. For when the hordes of fatties come for you, that's the last thing you'll.
Animation skill of this.
This reminds me so much of a picture they posted from a fat acceptance protest where they were smashing scales. They were taking scales and they were smashing them. And commenters had noted that this wasn't an act of woke woman empowerment. This was basically a hateful rejection of objective reality. Because it's not as if the scales were ever prejudiced against them.
Whoa, but there's a silver lining here, because smashing scales would have been pretty good exercise.
Yes, that's the good news there. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they were
they
going
would
to
have needed-
keep that one rolling. But she also claimed
I
that it
know
was
people-
We'll make them smash scales until they are thin again.
that phobia was
people say,
responsible
like,
for.
Oh, I'm just
Go on.
saying, oh, I'm just big boned, and it's like, yeah, sure, bones. But I'm sure bones don't jiggle.
Yes. Look, it's possibly built in a rather thick fashion, but that doesn't account for wobbling at all. No. She also claimed that it was fat phobia that was responsible for her inability to get more right swipes on Tinder. According to Arketer, science, especially of the fat-phobic variety, is often actually eugenic science, thereby making it Nazi science.
Has this woman ever heard of chubby chasers?
You know what's eugenic, lady? Encouraging severe obesity that will kill you early and make you incredibly unappealing to most suitors, because that's going to take you out of the gene pool with your lineage a dead end.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'm pretty sure this woman hasn't heard chubby chasers before.
I
It's just seems a bit
suspect.
different.
Look, there probably. I know there are chubby chasers out there. I know there's an entire subgenre there. I suspect there may be more women such as this than there are chubby chasers available, and it's entirely plausible that this woman would be insufferable to them.
To be fair, like, if only she knew that there were chubby chasers out there, then she'd be trying to get more women to be thin just so she could have more to her.
Well, maybe
Like,
she's just.
there seems to be a conflict of interest here. I'm just saying.
It's just true. It's true, actually.
Russia War's views on fat issues appear to be an extension of her broader work as an activist. Of course. On her website, she touts her role as a community organizer and a sought-after speaker who travels internationally to curate custom visual workshops that whisper to our change-making spirit and nourish our vision for a more just future.
I mean, did they literally say that she travels? Something here don't add up.
During her St. Olaf's talk, she called on students to challenge all authority, legal, scientific, prisons, and police. It's great, but maybe not objective reality. Just throwing that out there. Rashad will explain to our audience how she lives out her resistant ideals in her role as a therapist, where she defies a code of ethics that strictly forbids her to have physical contact with clients. I will never live by a professional code of ethics that tells me what I am allowed and not allowed to do with my body, she said.
So there is an absolute gem in chat. Paul Schulberg has come out with, "You're fat, don't sugarcoat it, because you'll eat that too." Fantastic.
It's actually rather profound. That's kind of what they've done, really. That's what they've done. That's precisely it. Extraordinary. They sugarcoated it and then eaten it. I'm really kind of wondering about this. She defies codes of ethics that strictly forbids her to have physical contact with clients, thinking that there's probably a reason why, as a therapist, such a code of ethics exists. Look, just pretend for a second that if she were a male and said that, I refuse to abide by a code of ethics that strictly says what I am allowed to not do or do with my body. I should be able to touch my clients as much as I like.
I mean, do what you want with your body, but don't piss on a leg and say it's raining. Being fat is bad. Not enough.
What? You don't like Santa?
Santa is going to die of diabetes one day, and we need to teach kids that.
Well, he has
Santa
milk
is-
to counteract that, and
Look-
milk, it does a body good.
Santa needs to die, the communist scum.
You want to piss off parents all across the world. Just put out this thing like, kids, we need to give Santa celery and water, not cookies and milk.
Ah, well, by the way, greetings means the destruction. I don't know how much of this you've been watching, but, wow. And greetings, Paul Schulberg and Phantom Dark 266. We have 8 minutes left. Where shall we go next? I know. We'll throw it to the audience. Incels.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Incel problem. This horrible thing that Jinx Curtis inflicted on you all.
Oh god, get it away. Jesus.
I was commenting that,
I didn't know Marilyn Manson released a new album.
you know what disturbs me most?
Voldemort and MJ had a baby.
What disturbs me most?
Explain to our
What disturbs me most is I'm seeing a lot of smudges. And I don't... Some part of my brain tries to guess at what they are, but I really don't want to know. On the bright side, Silence of the Lambs reboot confirmed! Oh
Did I
no.
explain to you what the person is wearing?
I don't think I want to know.
No, now here's the real question: Who would you rather fuck, the fat sex psychiatrist or that?
The psychiatrist.
That one.
Look, psychiatrist, without a doubt. Look,
No,
I
I'd probably
know-
fuck the people with the silicone mask, mostly
Uh,
because I get crushed by the fat psychiatrist.
look, that's only if you're reckless and get underneath them somehow. I'm pretty sure that can be easily avoided.
You can
I don't-
pray in the police system.
I don't think Rashad War is going to be able to skin me alive as part of any sort of suit building exercise. This person, though, might be quicker with a knife than I can dodge. I'm not willing to gamble. Good news from...
She could roll over.
Good news, by the way, for those of you who are watching Game of Thrones and were wondering if it's going to have a sad or happy ending ultimately. The Norwegian police have captured the Night King. Winter is not coming after all, and that's fantastic. Yep.
Blinded journeyman. How about I stay a virgin and live?
What?
The smartest decision, my man. That is definitely the smartest decision.
Yes, if you have to, I assume, of course, that there's some sort of gun to my head and I have to go through with one of them. So, I would not choose either.
I know some people in
otherwise.
chat are literally choosing suicide. I can't blame them.
I hear their thoughts, but quite frankly, I'm staunchly against suicide. I mean, if you're going to kill yourself, you might as well let someone else do it. They'll probably be quick.
Well, the Night King can just raise them.
Oh, yes, but Night King's busted, so, you know. You have to raise an army in jail.
How the police managed to pull him over when he was riding that dragon, that's supreme police work, honestly.
Yes, the Norwegian police have busted the Night King. Captors listed as many crimes in a post accompanying the images, including animal cruelty and property damage, among other offences.
Animal cruelty? You're shitting me. What was he doing to that dragon?
I wonder. And we need to fit at least one Florida man article, not just Florida Sheriff. That was a pretty good one, because he was Florida Sheriff. Florida man! Pretends to be a cop, pulls over actual cop, gets arrested. Say, do you, one of you want to read this one?
What website is it?
It's
Send it to
Newsweek.
me.
Let's steam over go.
Send it to me and I'll
I can read it from the screen if you're willing to scroll on, Director.
Oh, I don't mind.
Yep. Matthew Joseph Eris from Pasco County, Florida, clearly wanted to give the impression that he was a police officer. On the top of his Chevy Trailblazer was a police light bar, and there were even red and blue lights on the vehicle's grille. On Tuesday night, he got so into character that he flashed his fake police lights at a car in front, signaling for them to pull over. But he chose the wrong person to pull over, WFLA reported. So, moving on. Oh, that looks like a real officer. So, the occupants of the car in front. Oh my god, lag! I can't. Oh, hold on. Wait, I can scroll down, can't I? Oh, there we go. All right. The occupant of the car in front was a real life police detective working undercover. He promptly. Oh my god. I see McDonald's. Okay. Undercover, he promptly called 911 and alerted other officers who caught up with Eris a short time later. A search of his vehicle uncovered a realistic-looking airsoft pistol in a holster beneath the front passenger seat. He was arrested for impersonating a law enforcement officer. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is now examining whether he had stopped others before he is appealed for public for the police appealed for public for the information. Oh. Well, that gentleman made a poor choice.
Indeed,
So.
but this is an absolute, without a doubt, great Florida man article. Matthew Joseph Harris from Pasco County was arrested for impersonating a police officer. He made the mistake pulling over a car with real police in it.
What are the odds on that particular day? That particular man decided to pretend to be a cop and then just so him to pull a cop over.
There's
Like,
more
this
to-
is coming from the British perspective where police are as rare as unicorns these days, but you know, like.
We have
No.
objectively,
Police are radicals.
we have 1 minute remaining. We have one last short article to end on a happy note. And I've already sent it to you, Steam. Are you ready?
Okay, I've got it. Yes. A Michigan boy with an emergency craving called 911 last week to place an order, and he ended up getting it delivered. 5-year-old is
Isaiah Hall, I believe.
was at Wyoming Mitch home on Sunday when he began craving some McDonald's. The only problem was Isaiah's grandmother was, according to WWZM, that's when Isaiah grabbed an old phone which had been deactivated years ago and called the only number he could, 911. Isaiah contacted to dispatcher and asked her, "Can you bring me McDonald's?" Kent County Dispatch contacted Wyoming Police, who sent the officer Dan Patterson to check the boy on WZZM reported. On his way to check on Isaiah Patterson, stopped by a local McDonald's and picked up some. I figured, hey, I'm driving past McDonald's on my way there. I might as well get him something, he told in the station. Patterson said when he showed up, Isaiah was intensely worried that his grandmother would be upset, that he called the police and asked him to leave. Isaiah's grandmother said that they were grateful to Patterson, who also advised him about using 911 for emergencies only.
Yeah, when I first saw this article, the title, I thought it was going to be something equivalent to a Florida kid article. I thought it might be a teenager that get arrested, but a 5-year-old. This is... Look, there's really no faulting that. Just wonder why they kept that...
What a wholesome thing to end on.
Indeed, indeed. This article came from Fox News and Angry Fruman, who found it. So I thought we'd end on a happy note. Another happy note that I'm going to end on, at least I think it's standing happy, is that I have my guest for Saturday. Please join me next Saturday at 4 p.m. CST for an interview with Ghastly, at Ghastly of Gulf City fame. Should be very interesting. I've only interviewed a ghost once before. It went terribly. This one should go much better. Probably.
I don't think I've ever spanked a ghost. Can I spank a ghost?
Have you tried?
These are questions we'll probably
I
have
haven't
to...
had the opportunity.
We'll probably have to ask him when time goes by. I don't think that's one of the questions I asked the ghost last time. And I think Ghastly might be an entirely different breed. So we'll see. Besides, I have my own questions, like what is the Cult of Krill's stance on skeletons? Because I think I might rather be a skeleton than your classic ghost. Skeletons are so classic.
Don't worry.
And, they bring us all together because everyone has a skeleton inside them just waiting to get out. And it's white. Asian, African, doesn't matter. Inside everyone is a white skeleton.
Well, actually, isn't it every color except white? Because we only see the white because it's reflective of the light that's not absorbed?
Now you're just being difficult.
My bad.
But, I get your technical quibble, and also everything we see as green is every color but green. But that's way off topic. Greetings, Citrus Quest. And with that, we need to be going. Anything either of you want to say before I end this? Steam?
Yes.
Anything you wanted to say?
Oh.
We're 3
That was
minutes
great
over.
on Saturday. Okay, bye.
Is that ice cold chill again? Really disturbing. Gray, thank you for managing the chat. Anything you wanted to say?
Don't be fat. There we go.
At least try not to be.
By
Awkward silences.
What?
Uh,
Am I supposed to say something?
No, memes. Was there something you wanted to say before I go ahead and close this out?
Oh, not that this message is directed to any Froman in particular, but about halfway through the stream, I believe there's a quote from the director saying, "But kings." That is all.
Hashtag
is that some
bring
like
back
deep
childhood.
lore that I'm not getting?
It sounds like Froman, and by that I mean I absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Right, until next time, ostensibly progress continues. Cheers.
Alright, see you later.
Oh, I confused that because I was watching a GameStop stream about pirates earlier.
But pirates?